Welcome to Stone Crest. I found this beautiful chair, a little power wash, and maybe we'll sell it with the house. I don't know. All right, I don't know. What are we doing here? All right, we are at Stone Crest. We have not been here for a while, so we're finally getting back into it, finally getting some things done here, because we got to get this thing on the market like last month. So this house is, let's see here, we're a 2-bedroom in Portage. We do have lake access over here, which is a huge selling point for this house, in a great little neighborhood. A lot of little things we got to do on the inside. Let's see here, what have we done so far? The big thing is we had to hook up everything. This thing was running off an old oil furnace, so we had to rip that out. Actually, it still might be in the basement. I think we still have to get it out. We'll take a look when we get down there. We got new electrical ran everywhere. We replumbed the whole house. We had to bring gas into the house as well. It had never been hooked up to this place before, so we ran gas in, got the furnace hooked up, all new ductwork ran. So I mean, it's the works. So let's go take a look around. Here we have a deck that clearly needs to go. We're hoping that when we rip off the rails and the decking, that everything is ready to go and we don't have to, you know, redo the whole deck. Hopefully the trusses or not the truss. So hopefully the joists are good, and we'll have to, but we won't really know until we rip it up. So we'll find out soon. Here's the kitchen. So this place, this was all completely walled off. There was only a small doorway here. So opening this up really helped just, you know, make the space feel bigger. This house was built in 70s, I believe. Didn't exactly have open concept back then, so everything was pretty closed off. So opening up these smaller houses can really go a long way. So here in the kitchen, you can see we had a bunch of water damage here. This is kind of a common thing in a lot of our houses. If you've been watching some of our videos, right where the kitchen sink is, there's always leaks. People don't take care of them, and we end up having to cut like a 4x4, 6x6 section out by the kitchen sink, replacing the subfloor, sometimes the joist, you know, before we can put everything back together. So same thing here. I don't know if we've completely decided. I think we're gonna have the fridge here, sink, and then the stove here. If anyone's got any good ideas for this layout, we're all ears, but that's kind of what we're leaning towards. Kind of give you a nice stove here with a nice, you know, kind of serving spot. You can still see the kitchen, sink, and then, oh, this is gonna be our coffee nook, our little coffee bar. So we'll have countertops here, cabinet, some uppers, and we'll make a nice little coffee bar out of this. Nice little bonus feature. All right, so this blue obviously has to go. We'll be able to salvage that. They did this, you know, with like the plaster crown molding instead of putting up old school or your traditional crown molding. So this, I don't know what color we're gonna paint it. Probably like an off color from the wall. I don't know. We'll have to play with that and see what looks best. And here's the bathroom. Yeah, so we gutted this thing completely down, as you can see, all new plumbing already, the tub's in, and yeah, this place is almost ready to put back together. We are waiting on the inspector to do the insulation and framing inspection, and then we are good to go and putting drywall up and getting this place painted. So we should be, I'd say 2 months from now, we should be out of here. Here is one of the bedrooms. This is the worst of the bedrooms. There's clearly some moldy drywall here. There's something going on. So what we'll end up doing is, you know, we got behind you where everything's there. You don't have to worry about showing it. So that section we already ripped out. You can see they had a leak or something here. So we're gonna have to rip this down and see what's going on. Yeah, these windows are good to go. They just need to be cleaned up. So really this room is figure out what the water issue is, fix that, and get some drywall in here. One of the things we've kind of been debating on is, do we skim coat this wall or just go over it with like some 1/4 inch drywall, trying to figure out which one's gonna be cheaper and quicker in the end. Still haven't quite figured it out, but we're gonna pick one of them and run with it. This is walled off. We had to reframe this so that we could make this closet actually a little bigger than it was, because it wasn't that big, and there was a cabinet from the bathroom that came into here, so it threw everything off. Here is our second bedroom. This one is in much better condition. Windows are good, trim's in decent shape. We're just gonna be able to do a quick skim coat, make sure all the holes are patched up, get this place painted real quick, get some carpet down. We could redo these hardwoods. They're not in horrible shape, but frankly, it takes way too much time if speed is a factor on these projects. Because if we end up sanding all these floors, that just shuts down the whole project for a week. So we like to be quicker than that. We like to have our floors done in a day whenever possible. Like to be in and out and be done. So yeah, let's take a look upstairs. All right, now we're in the attic. So we're gonna kind of half finish this space because the stairs kind of suck coming up. They're really steep, really small treads. So we really like to, you know, we wanted to make this a living space, but then we would have had to run the heat duct up here. Air conditioning would have been an issue. So with these older houses, it's especially if it's a flip or if it's an investment property, it's where can you save some money. Down the road, this space will be finished off, and then you could easily add like a mini split if somebody ever wanted to heat and cool this space and use it a little more like a living space. You know, as far as, you know, an investment property, asking yourself how many rabbit holes do you want to go down to stop, you know, these rehabs can cost anywhere from, you know, 20 grand, you know, 100 plus, depending on how much you have to do. So, you know, on a rehab like this, you got to figure out where are we going to cut some costs down. And this was an area where it's like, all right, the cost of bringing the heat and the AC up here versus just leaving it in an unfinished space, it just makes sense to get it half finished. We got all new power ran up here. We got it set up for the next owner to dream a little bit and figure out exactly what they want to do with this space, and then let them put that investment in there. Because frankly, from a flip or a rental standpoint, you're not going to get it out. So over here, we got more of the same, another whole half over here. So this will be a nice big finished space that people be able to put to use, either use it as storage or, you know, finish it in the future. It's really up to them to kind of dream. Onwards to the basement. So with the water issues in a house like this, like it usually boils down to your grading. How is your grading, and then how are your gutters? Are your gutters getting the water away from the house? And then is the grading or the dirt on your in your yard, is it bringing the water? Is it funneling it right back into your house, or is it moving it away? So those are the two main things that lead to almost every water issue we've encountered. Obviously there are the occasional outliers. I think one time we had to do like a whole French drain and a bunch of grading, and that place was a nightmare. But as a whole, 95% of the time, you don't need to go to these water basement companies where they go, hey, we'll just put a pool liner on your wall and we'll keep the water out of your living space. Well, why is the water getting to the foundation? You don't want water up against your foundation. That's just going to create issues. It might take years to develop, but it will be an issue. So if you can just get the water away, that's ideal. Don't just coat it and get it away or keep it out of the living. That's not the way to deal with it. All right, so this house does have a pretty awesome yard. We definitely underestimated how much work it was going to be to get it cleaned up, but we're starting to look pretty good now. We still got to get some things tamed down and under control, but from a trash standpoint, we're looking a million times better than we were. So let's take a look at the house itself. You can see here we have a brand new AC system. We ran our gas line right in here, so our gas is coming in. Whoop! I found a hole. Yep, there's a hole. So we got the AC there. The siding on this house is in pretty good shape. We're gonna have to definitely get some things power washed, a few things caulked up just to make sure they're watertight. But as a whole, the siding on this house is in pretty decent shape. A lot of these trees we're gonna have to get trimmed back. So yeah, lots of things to trim back. This is the first time I've seen this yard green and like full like this. So this is nice. We got a lot to work with here. Just kind of get it under control, and yeah, should be a nice yard when we're done with it. And it's a big corner lot too. So it's like a double corner lot. It goes way back. Let's see here. We got a little issue here with the door. So we'll do a new screen door. We're gonna have to fix the siding, get all this done, get it power washed up, but really we don't have to do much. Let's see, we're gonna have to make sure the gutters are clean, figure out what's going on with that water issue. Just looking at it, I can kind of tell that this water is probably not getting much beyond those weeds. And these weeds here, they loosen up the soil right by your foundation. So if the water's getting there, it's got loose soil to work its way through. So those not necessarily good things. So we'll make sure this water is getting way out of here, and I'll make sure those gutters are clean and check our grading all the way around. All right, well, hey, thanks for following us along at Stone Crest here in Portage. We're gonna be wrapping this one up here in a couple months. We still got a ways to go for sure on the inside. Outside won't take us long, but keep following along, see where we take it from here. And yeah, all right, people, we need a tagline for BrickTree. What's our tagline? Rehabbing, dreaming, I don't know. Let us know your thoughts.